Good morning, everybody, and welcome. This is our regular meeting of the Mason County Commission for June 18th, 2024. We're going to go ahead and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ken Van Bunkirk, would you do us the honor of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
He's missing.
Sharon Trask.
Yeah, you can't see me. No. Did you? Okay. I can't see her. Okay. All right. Item number 4, because we have a quorum. Item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Under 4.1, do you have correspondence to come before us?
I do. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission sent in correspondence regarding deviations from minimal flow and ramping rate requirements. Elizabeth Hill sent in correspondence expressing continued concerns around the property at 611 Daniels Road. Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent in notice of liquor license renewal applications, cannabis renewal applications, special occasion liquor license for South Mason Youth Soccer Club, and for Mason Benson Clubhouse, and an approval letter for the Hideaway Lounge's liquor license.
Okay, excellent. Next up, item number 4.2, Pride in Being Yourself Month Proclamation. Proclamation. June is Pride in Being Yourself Month, June 2024. Whereas the Mason County Board of County Commissioners recognizes and proclaims the month of June of 2024 as Pride in Being Yourself Month. And whereas Mason County recognizes that we do not unite by dividing, are not inclusive when separating, and do not practice equality by recognizing only a select few. And whereas people of all different variations make vital contributions to and enhance the social and economic fabric of Mason County, you may be a part of the LGBTQ plus, straight, or non-binary community. You may be of religious or non-religious beliefs and may choose not to identify with any group. This is the month to take pride in your individuality. Whereas individuality and self-expression are the cornerstone of a vibrant, inclusive society, and embracing and celebrating unique qualities fosters a community where diversity is accepted, cherished, and encouraged. And whereas supporting each person's journey to self-discovery promotes empathy, respect, and understanding within our community, reducing prejudice and discrimination. And whereas Pride in Being Yourself Month embodies the fundamental rights of our great nation, to be able to be yourself without others trying to force or intimidate you into living by their personal beliefs. This is an opportunity for individuals of all ages, backgrounds, and walks of life to embrace their true selves, share their individual stories, and inspire others to do the same. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Mason County Commissioners hereby proclaims that throughout all of Mason County, Washington, June is to be recognized as Pride in Being Yourself Month. Mason County fully supports the rights, freedoms, and equal treatment of all. We urge all citizens to join in this observance by participating in activities, events that honor and uplift the uniqueness of every individual, to encourage schools, workplaces, organizations, and communities to create environments where everyone feels safe, valued, and free to express their individuality without fear or judgment or reprisal, and by making a personal commitment to live authentically and support others in doing the same. Signed this day, June 18th, 2024. Do you have any other correspondence organization to come before this committee?
No, we do not.
All right, next up is item number 5. Item number 5 is our open forum for citizens' input. This is your opportunity to speak to the commission and to the community on any item that is not on the agenda. If it's on the agenda, we ask that you wait your turn. You'll be given an opportunity at that time to take it off for a separate vote, at which time you'll be given an opportunity to testify on that item. But if it's not on the agenda, this is your opportunity. I'm going to ask the ones in the room first. If you'd like to speak, to please raise your hand. I will call on you. When we do, we'll ask you to go to the podium, and I ask that you perhaps say your name and perhaps where you're from. So, who would like to go first? Would you please join us?
Hello again, Commissioners.
Hi.
I'm Elizabeth Hill, Shelton, Washington. I'm going to try to get through this really fast, and I don't really want to read it all. I just want to give you the high points. I put our concerns here in the letter, and I apologize for bringing this in so late. And I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I'm not asking for answers to any of this right this moment unless you happen to have them. But I want to report back to you some things that have happened since I saw you last on May 7th. First of all, 611 Daniels has not been cleaned up at all. Imagine telling your 8-year-old to go clean up a room that's just absolutely full, and they shuffle a little here, a little there, and you come back in and it's like nothing's happened. So it's like that. As of today, our neighbors are still seeing that nothing has changed. The signs that were posted at 611 Daniels and at 1590 Beaver have been removed. These people went over a couple of days after we were here. They took the signs down at Beaver, and then they started migrating over there. And that Beaver property, I think, has been condemned for a while. And I heard that if they as long as they don't occupy the trailers that are there, they can still be there. Again, I don't know if this is true. This is just what I heard. The health department was called. The caller was told that because the signs were down, they had to essentially start over again. We don't know what start over again means. Does it mean that if somebody tears down a sign, now the clock starts all over again? They get another 30 days when the department gets out there and posts again? I mean, that's a concern. Ecological impact. Mr. Tracy had indicated that the health department only has jurisdiction for testing for bacteria, where we're looking for testing for other toxins like transmission fluid, oil, motor oil, gasoline, things that have leaked from these vehicles. I have no idea how many vehicles there are, but there are tons of them. That salmon restoration culvert project at the end of Daniels was costly, and yet we know that after a rain, water is moving through that culvert from that property on Daniels. It needs to be tested after the rain. And he indicated that he had made a call, or somebody had contacted the Department of Ecology. We've reached out to them, and we've been told that they're not getting involved. So there's another roadblock. Also, there's been increased criminal activity over there. On June 5th, 6th, right in there, multiple vehicles were broken into on Daniels Road, right in that area, which I think is kind of interesting because I'm sure now that the primary suspect in this thing who was operating a business is no longer there, we're thinking maybe their stream of income has been cut off, perhaps. I also got a personal call back in April from the Sheriff's Department, just wondering if anyone was supposed to be on my
I
property.
forgot to mention, no, it's okay. I forgot to mention the 3-minute limit. Usually I think it's the first time I did not mention it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you an extra minute to please close up.
Thank you. So anyway, I was never able to clarify what happened. I called back the Sheriff's Department, couldn't get to the source of whoever was on my property. We had vehicles broken into. There just have been a host of other things. There was a battery that occurred this last weekend between an irate neighbor and one of the relatives. So anyway, I just wanted to say those are some of the concerns. The rest of them are here. And just to let you know that our neighbor group has doubled since the last time I was here. We have about 25 people now that are involved in trying to get some answers. And so I'm just asking you guys to please get us some answers for the questions that are here. And, I'd be happy to come back in 2 weeks and just listen to whatever you have to say. Or if you guys want to respond to us by just sending something to the email address that I gave you, that would work too. But we're just trying to get some things moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the room that would like to speak on an item not on the agenda? If so, please raise your hand. I'll call on you, but this time I'll remind you that there's only a 3-minute maximum per speaker. Is there anybody else in the room? You did great. Is there anybody on Zoom that would like to speak on any issue that is not on the agenda? Please unmute yourself, say your name, or raise your hand, and we will call on you. Is there anybody in Zoom that would like to speak to the commission on item not on the agenda? Please say your name, and we will call on you. Okay, so with that, the last time we had some comment, if you don't mind, after this meeting, you have some people that are here that already have this down, and if you'd like, you're willing to talk to them, unless you commissioners would like them to put them on the spot and have them come up and speak for a minute.
No, I think that there's some things that we should follow up on and then we'll get some answers.
So, Commissioner, same? So maybe though we can have this as part of a briefing in the next week or so we can get a full understanding, because we know what you're gonna explain to them, but I'd like to hear it straight from you guys ourselves. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close this aspect of it. We're gonna move to adoption of today's agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move adoption of today's agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded for the adoption of today's agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. It is passed. Item number 7, approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the April 29th and May 26th, or May 6th, 2024 briefing minutes and May 7th, 2024 regular minutes.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded for the approval of the April 29th and May 6th, 2024 briefing minutes and the May 7th, 2024 regular meeting minutes as presented. Any polls or any other comments on it? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next up is the approval of the action agenda. All items listed under the action agenda will be read to the public. And at that time, after we read it into the record, you'll be given an opportunity to ask a question to help you decide if you want to take it off for a separate vote. If you want to take it off for a separate vote to see how we vote on it, or to be able to testify, we'll ask that you go ahead and do it at that time. So with that being said, we'll read it into the record first, and then get to that other point. I'll read item number 8.1 through 8.4. And Commissioner Trask, if you wouldn't mind reading number 8.5 through 8.10, and Commissioner Schutte, 8.11 through 8.16. Item number 8.1, approval of warrants and treasurer's electronic remittance, claims clearing fund, warrants number 8105282 through 8105685, the amount $1,357,497.68. Direct deposit fund, warrants number 107013 through 107428, the amount $945,626.20. Salary clearing fund, warrants number 7008172 through 7008207, the amount $1,235,391.60. Treasurer's electronic remittance, $1,289,680.45. Item number 8.2, approval of resolution for the sole source purchase from Correct Equipment of 47 E1 grinder pumps and conversion kits and 2 complete units for a total of $162,491.71. Item number 8.3, approval for the Deputy Director, County Engineer to execute the agreement with Washington State Department of Transportation, WashDOT, to perform maintenance for the rectangular rapid flashing beacons installed on State Route 106 at Tawana Falls State Park. Item number 8.4, approval of the county road closure on Bear Creek to Watto Road at approximately milepost 5.29 for a culvert replacement project from August 19th to August 30th of 2024.
Item 8.5, approval of the memorandum of understanding between Mason County Parks and Trails Department and the South Mason Youth Soccer Club for overflow parking. Item 8.6, approval of the Mason County Commissioners 2025 and 2026 preliminary budget preparation guidelines. Item 8.7, approval of Mason County's 2025 annual budget for internal cost allocations, information technology, state auditor's office charges, unemployment, and motor pool. Item 8.8, approval of the memorandum of understanding with Teamsters Local Number 252 representing general services to include bilingual provision language in the current collective bargaining agreement. Item 8.9, approval of the memorandum of understanding with North Mason Fire Rescue Authority and Kitsap County Fire Marshal's Office to adopt burn regulations as found in Mason County Code Chapter 9.48 within the Tri-Lakes area of Kitsap County served by the North Mason Fire Regional Authority, Rescue Authority, there we go. Item 8.10, approval of the treatment sales tax contract amendments to reallocate funding with Crossroads Housing for $75,115.39 and Northwest Resources 2 for $8,712.31.
Mr. Chair, item 8.11, approval of the law enforcement assisted diversion contract expansion for $515,000. Item 8.12, approval of the resolution for County Road Project 2059, Matlock Brady Road, and approval to authorize the county engineer and/or chair to sign all pertinent documents. Item 8.13, approval for the county engineer to execute the memorandum of agreement with the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife for the provision and maintenance of the fish passage on Schoolhouse Creek. Item 8.14, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, July 16th, 2024 at 9:15 a.m. to consider approval of the 2023 open space applications as recommended by the county assessor and community development. Item 8.15, approval of the June 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2028 collective bargaining agreement for Teamsters Local Number 252 Appraisers Unit. And item 8.16, approval for the county administrator to sign the following American Rescue Plan Act contracts with the Mason County Senior Activity Center for $4,628.31, Mason County Cemetery District Number 1 for $28,485, Belfair Water District for backup generators for $33,788.63, Turning Point for $40,000, Economic Development Council for a cluster study for $50,000, South Mason Fire District Number 4 for $63,340, Habitat for Humanity for $75,000, and Public Utility District Number 1 for Lake Arrowhead Main Line for $75,000.
Thank you. Now that all the items have been read into the record, this is your opportunity to ask a question that may help you to decide whether you want something taken off for a separate vote or for a more in-depth explanation. Is there anybody in the room that would like an item taken off for a separate vote or have a question to help make their determination? Seeing none, is there anybody on Zoom that has a question that would help them to decide whether to have an item taken off for a separate vote? Please unmute yourself, say your name, or raise your hand and I'll call on you. Is there anybody in Zoom who would like to ask a question that would help them determine whether to have something taken off for a separate vote? Raise your hand or unmute yourself and I will call on you. Hearing none, are there any items that the commission would like taken off for a separate vote?
Mr. Chair, just item 8.16.
Okay,
I was gonna bring that one up as well.
okay. Is there any items in the audience of anybody that would like an item taken off for a separate vote? Hearing none. Is there anybody on Zoom land that would like an item taken off for a separate vote? Please unmute yourself or and say your name or raise your hand so I can call on you. Anybody on Zoom that would like to have an item removed for a separate vote, unmute yourself, say your name, and I will call on you. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of today's action agenda, items 8.1 through 8.15, with 8.16 removed for a separate discussion and vote.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded for the approval of the action agenda in its entirety, with the exception of item number 8.16, which will be taken off for a separate vote. Any comments? Hearing none? Oh, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes can have it. Item number 8.16, would you like to read that into the record for us, please?
Yeah,
No,
I thought you were pointing
Mark,
at me.
no.
You're pointing at him through me.
Yeah.
I can read it.
8.16,
Yes.
approval for county administrator to sign the following American Rescue Plan Act ARPA contracts with Mason County Senior Activities Center, $4,628.31. Mason County Cemetery District Number 1 for $28,485. Belfair Water District for backup generators for $33,788.63. Turning Point for $40,000. Economic Development Council for a cluster study for $50,000. South Mason Fire District Number 4 for $63,340. Habitat for Humanity for $75,000, and Public Utility District Number 1
for Lake Arrowhead Main Line for $75,000.
So for the record, we had already asked that these be put through. This is just giving, this is an action to give authority to the administrator to sign on our behalfs. That's all this is an action of. With that being said, is there any comments or from the audience? Hearing none, and yes, please.
I just had one comment.
Can I ask you to stand,
Yeah.
and tell them who you are, please?
Ken Van Busker, looking through this, I just noticed that, South Mason Fire District Number 4 doesn't really describe what that's gonna be used for.
It's going for, water tanks.
No, I mean, it just in the,
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't say that on here, so I thought that.
Well, for the public, it's going out for water tanks that'll cover some of the areas that they do not have access, where it'll be sitting, standing water available for, house fires, for forest fires, or whatever happens out there. Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion to, appoint our administrator the authority to sign on the county's behalf on these finished documents.
So moved.
I will second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Is there any, stuck? Abstain. Any abstention? Okay. The motion carries. All right, next up, item number 9, other business, department heads and elected officials. Are there any department heads or elected officials who would like to speak at this time? Step on up.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Wyndham, Mason County Public Health. Got a couple things. This weekend, Olympic Middle School, from 1 to 4, we are having a bike rodeo. And we'll, at the bike rodeo, we'll have free helmets for those in need. We'll have helmet fitting and decorating, so we'll have groups coming in to help kids decorate their helmets. Bicycle maintenance check, that's run by the Boy Scouts. They took a class on how to do this, and they're doing that for us. They'll have a safety course, a bicycle safety lesson, and then we have the Sheriff's Office coming in to talk about water and life jacket safety. So we had sponsors, we've got great sponsors. Blue Zones, North Mason Fire donated 40 helmets. Central Mason, Sheriff's Office, Shelton PD, Peninsula Art Association, Mason Health, Olympia Orthopedics, DNR, Shelton Boy Scout Troop number 9112. Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition will be serving ice cream to the kids who finish the whole course. It's Olympic ice cream. Raffle for bikes who finish their passport. We have Molina donated 10 scooters and 2 bikes. Kiwanis donated 4 bikes. We can have a goodie bag for all the kids who attend, and again, free helmets for those who are in need, and it's age 4 to 14 event. So we encourage people to come out to Olympic Middle School. Yeah. I have a helmet, we'll decorate for you. Can you say Mohawk? So it's a big event. We hope to have a lot of kids out there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a great event. Our next event is the Smile Mobile. So we got the Smile Mobile to come to Shelton. They are setting up today at the YMCA, and that's dental work. The number to call is 888-286-9105. Again, that's 288-286-9105. They'll be there from the 18th to the 28th. So we've got 2 weeks for the Smile Mobile to be here in Shelton to work with people who need and haven't been able to get access to dental. And this is part of our process through ABCD Dental. And it's continuing what we're doing there. So good stuff. Any questions?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I have a
Yeah.
quick question for you. How are we reaching out to that community to let them know about that dental program?
So we've got a person that works exclusively in that program, so they're talking to
Handing out flyers or?
flyers, and we're on Facebook, so you can find all the stuff on our Facebook account as well. So you'll be seeing that updated daily.
Great.
Just clarification, you and Ian will both stick around a little while to have conversations
Yeah.
with our neighbors?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have any other department heads or elected officials in the room who would like to speak at this time? Hearing none, do I have any department heads or elected officials on Zoom that would like to speak with the commission? If so, raise your hand or unmute yourself and I will call on you. Now, anybody that's a department head should already know how to do that, so since I haven't heard it, I'm gonna move forward. Okay. Next up, we have item number 10, which is a public hearing. This is a public hearing to consider and approve supplemental budget requests and budget transfers to the 2024 budget. Staff Jennifer Barley, we are opening the meeting.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So this public hearing is, as you said, to approve supplemental appropriations and amendments to the first budget amendment for 2024. The requested action is approval of an increase to 2024 authorized expenditure appropriations in the general fund of $770,821 and approval of an increase to authorized expenditure appropriations in funds other than the general fund of $2,556,884. And the detail is as follows. In all funds, with a few exceptions that are going to be detailed later on, we changed the budgeted beginning fund balance to actual cash balance amounts at January 1st of 2024. And so that resulted in most funds having zero revenue and zero expenditure change. In the general fund, the assessor's office, we have an increase of $3,340 in expenditures for elected official salary and benefits, and then a reduction of 5 computers, resulting in that $3,340. In the general fund, in the auditor's office, an increase to revenue of $39,600, and that's for passport services, and an increase to expenditures of $18,840, and that's also, again, the expenditure piece of the passport services, $5,500, and the elected official salary of $13,340. In emergency management, we have a decrease of $4,000 for removing 2 computers from their budget that weren't needed to replace. In the clerk's office, an increase to revenue of $20,104 for a TST transfer for 2023 billing done in 2024, and an increase to expenditures of $13,340 for the elected official salary increase. In the Commissioner's office, an increase to expenditures of $40,020 for elected official salary and benefit increase. In juvenile court services, an increase to expenditures of $2,000 for adding 1 computer to the replacement cycle. In human resources, an increase to expenditures of $30,000 for the 2025 non-represented class comp study. In community development, an increase to revenue and expenditures of $475,000 for SCJ contract. It was a carry forward from the 23 into 24 budget. The Parks and Trails Department, an increase to expenditures of $21,096 for a parks mower. In the prosecutor's office, an increase to expenditures of $11,800 for a retainage bonus. In the coroner's office, an increase to expenditures of $13,340 for the elected official salary increase. In the sheriff's office, an increase to expenditures of $5,595 for the elected official salary increase. In Office of Public Defense, an increase to revenue of $157,259 for a TST transfer in for 2023 billing to be done in 2024, and an increase to expenditures of $32,030 for a retainage bonus. In the Treasurer's Office, an increase to expenditures of $13,340 for an elected official salary and benefit increase. In Therapeutic Courts, an increase to revenue and expenditures of $95,080 for a grant received after the 24 budget was approved. In Victim Witness Activity Fund 114, an increase to revenue of $4,640, and that's due to the change in cash balance. And an explanation on that, these funds don't have ending fund balance, so we either have to increase the revenue or increase the expenditure to have the fund balance. In the sheriff's boating program, an increase of $5,000 to expenditures for overtime. In community services health, an increase to revenue and expenditures of $400,000 for the LEAD pilot program federal grant. In the American Rescue Plan Act fund, a decrease of expenditures of $202,615 for the change to the actual cash balance. In the lodging tax fund, an increase of expenditures of $645,307 for contracts that were approved for 2024. In mental health tax fund, an increase to expenditures of $177,363 for the TST transfer to the clerk and OPD for 2023 billings done in 2024. In the Treasurer's O&M fund, an increase to revenue of $8,355 for the cash change. Mason Lake Management Fund, an increase to expenditures, $37,026 for the cash balance change. Spencer Lake Management, decrease of $2,712 in expenditures for the cash balance change. Island Lake Management, increase to expenditures of $1,429 for the cash amount change. In Mason County Landfill Fund, an increase to revenue and expenditures of $55,000 to add 1 FTE, a full-time employee. In Russellwood Sewer and Water, an increase to revenue of $75,000 for a transfer in from the ARPA Fund 155. In the Belfair Sewer Fund, an increase to revenue and expenditures of $1,400,000 for carry forward Belfair Sewer Extension Grant. And last one, Unemployment Fund, an increase to expenditures of $41,086 for the cash amount change. So any questions?
Commissioners, do you have any questions? Is there anybody in the audience that has a question for staff regarding the presentation? Is there anybody on Zoom that has a question for staff regarding the presentation? If so, unmute yourself, say your name, and I will call on you. Or raise your hand. Anybody on Zoom that would like to ask a question of staff regarding the presentation, unmute yourself, and I will call on you. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close that aspect of it.
Thank you.
And we're gonna go ahead and open up for testimony. Is there anybody who would like to testify at this time regarding this issue? First in the room, anybody? If so, raise your hand up and I'll call on you. Hearing none. Is there anybody in Zoom who would like to testify regarding this, the action we're looking at taking here? If so, unmute yourself, say your name and I will call on you, or raise your hand. Anybody in Zoom, unmute yourself, say your name. Hearing none, I will close public testimony and move to commissioner deliberations and/or an action.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of an increase to 2024 authorized expenditure appropriations in the general fund of $770,821, and approval of an increase to authorized expenditure appropriations in funds other than the general fund of $2,556,884 as presented.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded for the approval of increase in 2024 authorized expenditure appropriations in the general fund amount of $770,821, and an approval of an increase to authorized expenditure appropriations in funds other than the general fund, the amount $2,556,884. Any comments?
Great job.
Hearing none, I will entertain, I'll just call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. That hearing is closed. Okay, next up, we're gonna go ahead and move to Commissioner, Board Reports and Calendars. Commissioner Trask, if you wouldn't mind leading off, Commissioner Schutte, and then myself.
All right, well, let's get to today on my calendar, maybe. All right, so this afternoon we have a Mason Transit Authority meeting. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, so the county offices will be closed. I was reminded of that because I said, oh, let's have meetings on Wednesday, and somebody said, oh, that's a holiday. I was like, okay. So then Thursday I'm going to meet with Peter Jones and Mark to talk about OPD, Public Works Board Executive Committee, a WASEC OPD work group, WASEC Timber Counties, Pack Mountain preliminary budget adoption meeting, Public Works Broadband meeting. Saturday is the Lincoln Day dinner, out at, let me think, out at Alderbrook Golf, thank you. I knew it was somewhere. Let's see, we are back here for our briefings, Wausau Virtual Assembly. I believe that there's a Republican meeting on Monday, but I'll have to make sure. Wednesday, I will be driving to Yakima for a Wausau General Membership meeting. And then on my way back, I'll attend virtually a Turning Point Board meeting. We do have signature verification training on Thursday, Public Works Board Executive Committee meeting, voter accessibility meeting, Turning Point Donor Appreciation event out at Colonial House. Friday is also Moto America out at the Ridge, so make sure you get there. Also have a Public Works Board broadband meeting, the sheriff's breakfast. The sheriff and Ted and myself will be providing a auction dinner on Saturday on the 29th to the people that bought that or won that. And then we're back here on Monday for our briefing in Wausau Virtual.
Mr. Chair, looking forward, this week after our meeting, we have our discussion about central services and the reorg moving forward. I'll be heading out to the Washington Economic Development Association Conference, their annual meeting for the remainder of this week. Going to be also out at Fjorden Crossing on Saturday and the bike rodeo on Saturday. So excited for those two great events. Also have a meeting coming up with the Army Corps of Engineers to talk about the project in the Skokomish Valley. Board of Health meeting. Have a MACECOM special meeting, Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board meeting, and then the North Mason Chamber lunch. And then wrapping up next week, have a retirement celebration for Mark Friedman from the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. And then back for briefings on the 1st and our commission meeting on the 2nd.
So in the last couple of weeks, we had a workshop, that we're gonna be having another one here after this, but we had a workshop a few weeks ago regarding the same issue for support services. North Mason Regional Fire Authority had me come down for making a video, met with the Director of Public Works, the Sheriff's Breakfast, Farm Bureau, ribbon cutting for Angler Insurance, Take Back Mason County meeting, the Indigent Defense group that we put together to look at finding solutions to the issues the states are putting on us. Victor Improvement Club. State Auditor had me meet with him for a risk assessment, a couple of meet and greets, Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority, another Sheriff's Breakfast, North Mason Community Voice Candidate Night, and Rotary. Coming up after this, we have that meeting with Central Services, Support Services, concerning reorg, Mason Transit Authority, constituents, North Mason Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, Men's Grief Breakfast up in North Mason. If you get a chance, if you have anybody that knows that they need it, please contact us. We'll try and get you set up so you can come and enjoy a wonderful breakfast. Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization, I'll also be attending the Fjord event. A York Right event. I had something here for Board of Health. That's not happening, right? Okay, so scratching the Board of Health. Thank you. And Chamber Reboot, I think you're speaking. I will be also there attending that. Wausau General Meeting, you'll be visiting that one in person. I'll be on Zoom. Lake Nowatzel Meet and Greet, North Mason, the School District Facilities Meeting, Lakeland Village organizations having a meeting with Sheriff Sperling, and the Law Enforcement Firefighter meeting after that, and that brings us back and we'll start all over again. With that being said, anything further come for us?
No, that sounds like enough.
Move we adjourn.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Hearing no objection, we are adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.